Are you down, did it down, did it down, did it down, down, down? Down, did it down, did it down, did it down, down, down? Are you down, 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 down? Are you
Okay. Good morning, Marta.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, it's early today. Normally I'm here afternoon, so we need to wake up together.
Yes.
So I'm here with Marta Mozes. She's the marketing manager at Google Campus, Tel Aviv. Actually, the first thing I want to ask is, how did you get this job?
So like everything in Israel, it's all about connections and who you know, and who's part of your community. So before I was at campus, I worked at a startup called JoyTunes. I was part of the very beginning team there, and another person who was part of the team, we were the marketing team. I was the team manager, and she was the growth manager. And she moved to Google after JoyTunes. So when I was also ready to make my next move, I let Kareem know that I was looking, and she said, I have the perfect job for you. And that's how I got to campus.
Cool. And what does it mean to be a marketing manager at campus? Or maybe let's tell people about Google Campus. I'm not sure everybody can do it.
Sure. So campus is a space that is run by Google for Entrepreneurs. And the purpose of Google for Entrepreneurs is to help entrepreneurs and startups all over the world on their journey and ensure that they are successful. And the way we do that is by sprinkling our Google magic over everything, whether that's helping entrepreneurs with mentoring. Google employees and experts in the field will come and mentor them, or we share best practices and our own knowledge within Google. We have many different programs. And we also try really hard to create programs that don't exist anymore for entrepreneurs who might not be as well, who are not as paid attention to, let's say. So let's say the ultra-Orthodox community, or women, or Arab Israelis. So that's super important to us because it's super important to Google. So all of that happens at campus. We're also a space that allows other communities to host meetups and hackathons, and all with the end goal that the more successful startups and entrepreneurs in the ecosystem, the better for everyone.
And also, because I took part in a few meetups at Google, and sometimes I even come and sit Sunday or Wednesday and work from there. It's true that you give a space to communities with nonprofit.
So everything that happens at campus is free. Again, thinking back to Google's roots, the thing that Larry and Sergey wanted to do is give information to the world for free. And so we also want to give our services for free, because we don't want to make it so that only if you have money, you're able to access and tap into our knowledge and everything we have to offer. It was super important from day one, all the campuses all over the world, and we have locations all over the world. Everything that happens on campus is free and open to the public, in order to really be able to not make it so that people don't feel that they can't take part in what we have to offer.
That's great. And when looking at the members of Google Campus, who are they? I mean, it's so various, I guess.
Yeah, so I think much like the local ecosystem is very diverse, or getting there at least. We definitely work hard at campus to create a inclusive environment, and that, like I said, I think that also comes back to it being free. So anybody who feels that they really want to develop their idea can come. As I also mentioned, we work really hard to just get people who are maybe in underrepresented groups into campus by running specific programs for them to make them feel comfortable. But we're really looking to create a environment that also is one that you really feel that you can come in with your idea, and campus can help you develop and grow that idea, and then we lead you on your way to success.
Wow. Let's talk about JoyTunes. So actually, you built the community there from scratch, right?
Correct.
First of all, what is JoyTunes?
Sure. So JoyTunes is a super cool startup. Their goal is 95% of people who begin playing an instrument quit within the first year. So their goal was to increase more people not quitting, to decrease the people who are quitting.
Mm-hmm.
So
nothing but statistics.
Yeah, good for
Yay.
you. Good for you. So they focus on piano at first because it's usually the first instrument that you learn at a young age, maybe like the recorder, but usually a lot of people do piano. So what they said is that if you're having fun while you learn, then you're less likely to quit. So they created iPad applications that work directly with the musical instrument, no wires. You simply put the iPad on top of your piano, you start playing, and the microphone within the iPad can detect that you're playing. And they gamified the experience, and then put fun music. And through that, they believed, and they were right, that more people would have fun. And so it was best for everyone. It meant that music teachers were able to keep their students. Parents were happy because they weren't paying for something that their kids weren't enjoying, and kids were enjoying having fun and learning. So that is JoyTunes. And I was the community manager about 4.5 years ago. So it was before really this huge craze existed, and I didn't even know necessarily what it meant. I don't think they knew either. They just said, "I think this is what we need. Do something with it." So luckily, it was obvious at first who we wanted the community to be. We wanted it to be music teachers. We felt through the music teachers, if we got them on board, they would get their students and their parents on board. So we created a community of music teachers, and luckily, they already had their own community as it was. We just needed to convert them all to be JoyTunes teachers.
Okay,
So,
wait.
Yes.
When you say we created a community of music teachers, where did they came from? Which platform? Or
Sure.
Israelis or global?
Global. We knew we wanted to go global immediately, so we didn't concentrate on Israel. We concentrated on the United States, where there's a lot more piano teachers specifically. And what I discovered, at first I did lots of research, of course. And I discovered that they already had Facebook groups to themselves where they discussed various things. I'm having this issue with my student, or what do you think about this or that?
Even 4 years ago?
Yeah, even 4 years ago. And what we realized also is that it's a kind of lonely job because you're all by yourself. Usually they're private teachers, so they work out of their homes, and they really needed that sense of community that was lacking in their day-to-day lives and people to talk to. So they already existed. And then what I tried to do is find the big influencers within the communities. And it became quite obvious who the big players were, who the teachers that everybody else respected, who spoke a lot, who wrote a lot. And so I just reached out to them and I said, we have this new product, and I see that you're very involved in the community, and I'd like you to test it out and give me your feedback. And from there, I created a small group of evangelists who all got on board and became obsessed with the product themselves. And once they started testing it out on their students, we saw how much it changed. And I really brought them on board as evangelists, and we used them as teammates practically for various different things we used them for.
So, because when I think about, Facebook groups, at least now, they're very closed, and a lot of them are suspicious for ads or people to come in and, promote stuff. You didn't have any problems?
Well, this, first of all, is their living. So if it's going to help them, again, retain their students or gain new students, then we were selling them something. First of all, we made it for free for them so that they didn't get that suspicion right away. So for at least the first year, it was completely free for them to use, which made them adopt it a lot quicker. And we really honed in on the fact that this is going to help them and their business, and this will make them more money. So we're looking to help you make more money as a teacher. So we created a Facebook group, and with all these evangelists that I mentioned, we had them bring more teachers. We went to conferences. We spoke to them face to face. We held webinars. We went to where they were, not the other way around. We didn't expect them to come into our world. We went into their world. And that group of evangelists really gave us also a sense of trust with the other teachers. Look, these are teachers, teacher talking to teacher, not JoyTunes talking to you. We brought these teachers on. we got them to be big fans. Now they're going to go and talk to other teachers. And I think that really created a sense of trust that we wouldn't have been able to get if it was just us always talking to the teachers. So it's like a company talking to you and always trying to sell you. We really built a foundation of, these are teachers who already love the product. Have them talk to you. We won't talk to you. They'll talk to you.
And how did your day-to-day look like?
I was on Facebook a lot. I was on the group a lot. But more than that, I was also the person between the community and the developers. So a lot of times the developers would say to me, we have this new feature within the iPad or within the app. We want you to talk to the teachers, have them test it out, and give us feedback. Or vice versa. The teachers would say, I found a bug, or there's something that I really would like. And then I would tell the developers. And that also created a sense of community of, you're part of building this product. That also created the trust of, we really worked hand in hand with our community, with the people we wanted to sell the product to build the product. And that really made all the difference. So teachers would see the features that they suggested in the next version, and they would get so excited, like, wow, like I feel like I'm part of this, and I'm not just somebody using it. I know that the developers at the startup, which is also a really big benefit of a startup, is that you can work fast and you can really listen to the community. And that, again, built another layer of trust and another layer of feeling loyal to us that really made all the difference.
Recently there are a lot of voices about community and community managers, and you've been to the community forward weekend, right?
Yes.
And actually, since then, I didn't talk with anyone about it here, so I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
To hear, like, what is it about? Why there is such a buzz, and tell me, what do you feel, at least?
Well, I think that the irony is that in this day and age, we're more connected than ever, but we also feel more isolated than ever. And a lot of people feel that, for good or bad, social media has created a sense of loneliness, which everybody talks about feeling maybe isolated, or that you don't really know, sometimes can't differentiate between the online world and the offline world. And I think that because of that, this sense of needing to create these communities online has really taken off, because people who may feel isolated offline can now feel like that they're part of something online, or vice versa. And so being able to take those meetings online and bring them offline, I think is incredible. And I think that because of that, and it's also a shift in idea of marketing. I think that before, years ago, marketing was very ads and very trying to always just like talk to you instead of it being a conversation and listening to one another. And I think that shift has happened in marketing because of community management and understanding that we can't just talk to our customers. We need our customers. It needs to be a conversation. Mm-hmm. Or I don't want to just have a Facebook group where it's just somebody, the admin is just talking to me, but it's a conversation. And that's a need that's come out lately, again, I think because of the boom of social media, I think of people living all over the world, but having a central common theme or something that they're all interested in, and they all of a sudden realize that they're able to have this sense of both online and offline community.
Did you find yourself joining new communities in the recent time?
Well, I think because we're Startup Nation and we like to jump on things quickly, so the community management world has really boomed in Tel Aviv in a crazy pace. So I'm always curious. I'm just a curious person in general. So I check things out. I went to the Community Managers Summit, and I'm curious. And so I definitely like to be part of the communities. Like I also, when I first moved to Israel and I made Aliyah, I felt very like I had my community of fellow Olim. So you make your own individual communities as well. And so I definitely feel that I'm part of communities, but I have like lots of small pockets of communities. But I'm somebody who likes to be around people and is social. So it's just innate that I would build my own community and be part of the community.
Yeah. Actually, by the way, do you still feel part of the Olim community?
My personal Olean community. I think that the good and bad thing about being part of a community is that you might get stuck there and then you might not branch out. And that's a little dangerous because then you just are living in this bubble of a certain amount of people that you hang out with or a certain type of lifestyle that you're living. And so I try to branch out but still the community that I built from day one of living here is are still my major community that I'm around today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting also to compare because when you talk about Google Campus, I hear a lot of like offline activity, and JoyTunes sounds more like an online community. So from your experience, like how does it work, or what are the challenges here and there?
Yeah, good question. So I think that the biggest difference was in JoyTunes, we were marketing to a global community. We wanted to tap into teachers who weren't living in Israel, whereas in Campus, we're doing the exact opposite. We're trying to help the local community. So we want to bring people to campus. We want people to be physically present during our lectures. We want people to be physically present during like mentoring is face-to-face. And so the difference is just that in Campus, we're helping the local community, whereas in JoyTunes, we were looking very quickly to expand and leave Israel because we needed a bigger market to work with. But even at JoyTunes, I would travel to America to conferences. We had webinars, so it's not physical, but at least it's face-to-face. And so we tried hard as much as we could with the very big difference of living in Israel and America to be as present as we could be. And also that's where our evangelists came into play. We would have them represent JoyTunes at various conferences if we weren't able to physically make it. Yeah, we would have them host meetups in their local towns, inviting teachers, and they would run it. So we really empowered them to represent us and to be the face of JoyTunes when we couldn't physically do that.
Wow, so they were kind of ambassadors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were.
Is this something that you created like as a program, or it was, on the go?
No, I shaped it. I built it. From the very beginning, I brought on 4 different teachers and from all over America in various different states with the idea in mind that we won't be able to physically be there all the time. I want them to be the ones that maybe, also during the times that we're not awake even, if somebody has a question on Facebook, they can answer it. And so I really trained them and I saw them as, they were my team. I managed them and they were instrumental in our success. And they loved it themselves because they felt part of something that they really believed in.
And they didn't get paid.
And we paid them a little bit, but it was, that's not why they were doing it. They were doing it because they really loved it and because it gave them exposure themselves. It was great branding and marketing for them. I worked for this startup I helped this startup. And so they did it themselves. They started gaining their own name. They spoke at conferences they probably wouldn't have been able to speak at otherwise. So it was win-win. They were able to brand themselves as a thought leader, and we were able to use them as a teacher to build trust with other teachers, to be present, to be the face of JoyTunes. So it was win-win.
Wow, it's amazing because, it's a music teacher that, I don't know, maybe 15 years, but teaching and do one-on-one and, playing the piano. And suddenly he or she give lectures and organize meetups.
Yeah.
Did you meet all of them in person?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. When we would go to the big conferences, we'd gather everybody together and we'd all be there together. I flew out and we also did some in-store, we would go to piano stores and they would show the product and I would speak about the product. So yeah, absolutely. I'm still in touch with some of them to this day.
Wow.
Yeah. It was also very much an education of they needed to evolve. Piano is such an old school thing. And now I'm asking them to put an iPad on their piano and have their students look at an iPad. And so at first it was also very much about product adoption, but they're also very aware of a child's looking at an iPad anyway, and they're going to be hooked on it anyway. So at least they should be doing something good with it, which is like learning piano instead of just playing some game that's not really benefiting them.
I think that one thing that recently I hear a lot, and I took part of like an ambassador program also in a different kind of thing, but a lot of communities realize that in order to expand, they have to have ambassadors around the world. Can you give like your tips to how to build such a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm all about ambassadors. I think that you should find people who are already kind of trying to do it as it is. I think it's part of somebody's personality. So if you see somebody who's already kind of a little bit sticking out from the crowd or already kind of speaking up more than others, I would approach them because chances are they'll be very excited to be even chosen. So I would do that, number one. Somebody who's that's my number one tip. Somebody who's already kind of trying to make their presence known, who you obviously respect and you think has something positive to say. And somebody who, isn't afraid to get up and talk to people and isn't afraid to like think big and get creative with you. And so I definitely think that any good community should have a few evangelists or ambassadors that you can turn to help you grow your community, because it shouldn't just be the community manager talking to the community. It needs to feel like you're all part of this together. And I think that ultimately, once you as a community manager can take a step back and the community can run itself, that's when you really hit success.
And do you recommend Facebook as a major tool for that?
I think we have no choice at this point. People are on Facebook so much as it is anyway. So to ask them to go to a different platform, I think is a little difficult. And you need to adapt to your community, not the other way around, I believe. Maybe some people Slack or some other ways to talk to one another, but I think that at this point, people just are opening up Facebook as it is. So why would you try to ask them to? There's only so much, people don't have any attention as it is, right? So you need to go where they're already paying attention to Facebook. So might as well just give in and understand. Like, at this moment, as somebody who works at Google, I will say everybody's on Facebook as it is.
Yeah.
So don't fight it.
Yeah, that's a great tip. We almost at the end, but before I have a question that I ask everyone. So it's your turn. Do you know the question?
No, but it's funny because I listen to lots of podcasts. I'm obsessed with podcasts. And so there's always this point where the host says, so I ask everybody the same question.
Yeah. So if you had unlimited time and unlimited amount of money, which community would you be in?
Would I be in or would I manage?
Manage or like create.
Oh, wow. That's a tough question.
Yeah, I didn't say it's going to be easy.
Yeah. I recently was at a fuck up night where one of the speakers spoke about how this day and age it's really hard for people to talk and how a lot of people keep a lot of their emotions inside, and this is also sometimes a negative way to. It's a backlash of social media, and it really struck a chord with me that we need to work better to make sure that we're not isolating ourselves more, or we'll put posts on Facebook and we'll like people will write these super long posts on Facebook, but then in real life maybe they don't speak at all, and that they're only putting their thoughts on Facebook, which I find this weird irony.
Oh, yeah. It's like a different person.
Yeah, and so I think that I would try to create just a community where that there's speaking both online and offline, and that you feel that you're able to share and express your feelings on both mediums, because I feel like there's this phenomenon of people writing these, like pouring their hearts out online, and I'm like, do they not feel comfortable doing it offline? Are they doing it offline? So I think that, and with cyberbullying and all of these things, also for children who are much younger and who have been bombarded with social media from the very beginning and might not know how to adapt on offline, I want to ensure that there's something that there's a community that people feel that they can do both, that exists both online and offline.
It's the kind of a psychological thing.
Absolutely. And I feel that like with a screen in front of you, people feel more vulnerable. But then once that screen is taken down and they have to look someone in the face, they might not feel as comfortable to be as vulnerable. And there's a great book and TED Talk by Brene Brown about vulnerability. I encourage everybody to listen. And it's something that's lacking in our society right now. And I'd love to. I think it's super important for everyone's well-being. Which is also super important in these days and age when we're working so much and it's all about work and nonstop. And the speaker at Parliament's also talked about that. It really struck a chord with me. So some sort of community that would bring people from around the world who, I don't know, have a chance to both be able to talk online and offline. And I don't know if that community even exists or what it would look like, but that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Wow. It's really innovative because you talk about, what happened now. It's actually something that's never been before because of technology and this like kind of new lives we have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a new phenomenon. And I think that it's something that because it's new, we don't necessarily know how to treat it or where it's going to go. But I think it's something that we need to be super aware of. And I encourage more people to pour their hearts off like online, but also make sure that you're doing that offline as well.
Yeah. Great. So Marta, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And have a great day. Bye. Are you down?